long time, I just would stick to the people I knew. You know what I mean? Like in land, like in I'm from like the Landover area, so just like a few people that I knew would be the
Okay,
people. And
I'm
I would share, yeah, then I would share online and stuff like that with people. But just recently, I've been really connecting with the DMV artists a lot more and more globally just over this past year. So I'm trying to touch base with as many places I can reach.
what part of Landover you from?
I was Palm Park, Palm Park, off
Okay,
Allendale.
I'm right here in
Yeah,
Kidland.
okay, yeah. So I mean, I pretty much grew up around there for like I was there for like 7 years, and I moved to Baltimore for like 7 years. But I'm born in New York, so I got like a little diverse culture. I lived in Texas, Georgia, so I got like some diversity when it comes to me, which I think makes me it could make me like a unique artist because I got a lot of culture that I was influenced by.
That's dope. I was about to say you said Georgia, Texas, New York, and Maryland.
Yeah, yep,
So that's the South. Um,
yeah,
that's the Midwest technically, and it's Northeast slash Mid Atlantic.
yeah, yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess you just gotta get out to Cali for a few years, and then
Yeah.
you nationwide.
Yeah, you know what? I actually work with an artist out there kind of frequently. Her name is Barcelina, but I mean, I know a few people that's out Cali and stuff. So it is what it is. I like their style though. They got some good style.
Okay. Well, I got eclectic taste when it comes to music. Like I can be chilling listening to like some J. Cole or something, and then my playlist will pick up like some Stevie Wonder or some Shaka Khan or something. Or I might
Right,
switch up and go to Godsmack. It all depends on what's on there and how I'm feeling.
pretty much. I got you on that one.
Nah, So
Like me, I'm also very different in that way. If you ever listen to my music, I definitely got like different genres that I'm in. I can go from house music, pop, R&B, dub and bass, or bass and drum, dubstep, EDM. I didn't hit all of them. Hip hop, real hip hop,
yeah,
trap, rap. You know what I'm saying? Freestyle. I then did just recently battle rapping.
yeah.
So so I'm like trying to touch them all if I can.
So I was going to say that that's something a lot of people don't have. They don't have the versatility that a lot of artists, I believe, should have because they don't cross over. And I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're good at something, do it to your best. But the being able to switch it up is kind of what separates you from, how I define hip hop is there's entertainers, there's rappers, and then there's lyricists, in my
Yeah.
opinion. You know, somebody like not to sound shady or anything, but like Little Uzi Vert, I would call him an entertainer. I
Right.
would call
Right.
I would call Young Jeezy a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I would call Biggie a lyricist.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Same here. I'm understanding. For me, I call myself ClevaThoughts lyricist. I figured. I figured. I think I'm a little past a rapper only because I actually love using my vocabulary
Mm-hmm.
when I'm talking my shit. So I try to use all the words like a little walking dictionary. If I when it comes down to make a music, I try to because that's how I got my skills is I read a dictionary. That's the source. You know what I'm saying? It's stepped up my vocab. Being from New York, that's just the culture. Out there.
I
But
mean, that's
but in Maryland, I'm gonna be honest. That's where I really sat on the block with niggas was freestyling. So that's where I got my the creme de la creme. You know what I mean? The words with some real art, some real lyricists or lyrical people,
okay.
and
Well,
it helps like elevate storytelling for me. Should I say?
I was gonna say, are those people still are they in the industry, or these are just
No,
people?
they were just like people I grew up with. So people I grew up with, and just rapping on their little mic, the little recorder,
Yeah.
just rapping on the recorder, and then I started opening up my doors to people that was outside on the block and just recording the shit. So
Okay, humble beginnings.
yeah, exactly. So I started writing, recording. We all just was in there, just bunched up in there, just rapping on it. So I learned how to engineer. That's how I learned how to do a little bit of engineering.
Okay, so your resume is packed.
Yeah, pretty much. I've been working. I do everything self sufficiently for the most part, but I know that in order to grow, you got to touch base. You got to talk to people and stuff. So that's where I'm at right now, learning how to talk and communicate with everybody. Let them know my journey, how we can help one another elevate to the next level.
That's what's up. So, you watched a couple of the videos. That you get a chance to check out any of the interviews I posted?
Yeah, that's why I was like telling you that I didn't really see any visuals. So
Mhm.
that's why I was like, okay, so they didn't have no visual. That's why I asked that. I was like, okay, so just no real visual, but it's okay. That's cool.
Yeah,
So on your
I
podcast, you got like Spotify and stuff. So you're gonna be on like Spotify, Apple Music and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got them.
Okay.
I'm posting them on that YouTube, and I'm just started to upload them on Facebook as well. So I'll have the full episodes or the full interviews on Facebook Watch, so you can watch them with the videos and everything. So
Okay.
so you kind of have a feel of how the show is going to go.
A little bit, not 100%. You can kind of fill me in. If you feel like I should know something prior to us getting on live.
No, no, no. So basically, when I'm interviewing my guests, I don't want them to feel like they have to come up with like the perfect answer or anything. I wanted to, be free flowing like a regular conversation, you know.
Right. Okay.
So, I'm interviewing you, but at the same time, we just talking. So I don't want anybody to be like, what will be the best answer for that question or whatever the case may be. I always tell people to be themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to introduce you and then I'll get started from there. All right.
That's it.
All right. So, oh yeah, if you do have like your phone or anything nearby, could you put it on vibrate?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, the Land of a Legend, aka Big T, and this is another episode of the I Can't Make This Up podcast. I'm in the presence of greatness today. My next guest is a New York native by way of Palmer Park, Maryland. She's a dope MC, a lyricist, a songwriter, and she's ready to battle any musician who wants it in the versus battle. So if you want that smoke, come holler at her. My next guest, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Clever Thoughts.
Hey,
Ba, ba,
what's
ba, ba.
what's going on? It's Puppet Thoughts, baby. What's happening?
Yeah, so won't you go ahead and introduce yourself to my audience?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. I'm Clever Thoughts, the lyricist. I am specifically a songwriter, a global songwriter and hip hop vocalist. I work with artists around the world. My goal is to basically help artists to elevate their song if they can. If they have some issues like with songwriting or just delivery, so I try to do a little bit of mentoring and guidance on how the song should deliver. Assist with a little bit of marketing while I'm doing that. That's ultimately me in the package right there, is I want to work with it, any and everybody when it comes down to music.
So how long have you been
So I
assisting
work with
musicians?
producers.
How long have you been assisting
Go ahead.
musicians?
I'm sorry.
I said, how long have you been
Well, I mean, I
assisting?
work with people
Go ahead.
about 15. I would say seriously, about 4 years now. About 4 years. But I mean, the last year I've picked up business a lot. I did about 180 features, I believe. So I've been working with a lot of artists over the last year around the world.
180 features. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And yep, including my own projects. I didn't even include those.
Okay, so give me background on the name Clever Thoughts. Where did that come from?
Well, Clever. Well, I used to when I was growing up. I used to go by Miss Clever. So the Clever, of course, if y'all know Erica Badu, she the one that came up with Clever originally on her song. When I was a teenager, I would listen to Erica Badu and Jill Scott. You know, they pretty much were mothers to youngins like me. You know, when I was a teenager, I didn't really have a whole bunch of guidance. I was the oldest. So I would basically pop in those sounds and they would help to create kind of like a little guidance. And when I heard that song Clever, you know, she's clever when she busts around. When she said that, I was like, I like that. So I kind of went with that. So and Miss Clever kind of dropped off because everybody was either Miss or Little or something like that. So I like, you know, I dropped that part and I just put thoughts after one of the greatest male lyricists, Black Thought. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he definitely had one of the best lyrical presences of all time. You know, he's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. And if I was to be a female rapper, I would want to be one of the best. You know what I mean? That's what I would want to aim for. But you know, I feel like Black Thought, I would like plural because I have a lot of things on my mind, a lot of things I be thinking about. So Clever Thoughts.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So uh you said that you like greatness, and you want to emulate somebody like that. So uh I'm assuming that, would you consider that era where he was, well, I don't want to say he was the strongest, but he still is one of the best lyricists that I know personally, that sits in a top 10 of mine's
Mhm.
music? Would you say the early 90s?
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't. I got to give the credit where it's due. The early, like I would say, 80s, 90s. That's where the golden hip hop was. It's where people were molded and influenced the most. You know, down from LL Cool J. I think LL Cool J was my top influencer in the beginning, just because he had not so much as far as lyricism, but just the swag of how he came in and he was able to, you know, kind of like hypnotize his audience with his just swagger, talking real confident. You know what I mean? So it's the confidence too. So when I listen to artists, I try to listen to what brings together the full package of what people like to hear. You want to hear that confidence, that braggadocious, I'm the best, you know, but do it in such a precise manner where people listen to you, they are automatically like, wow, you know what I mean? And that, you know, it's very hard to go by.
Okay. So when did your fondness for music inspire you to start writing and rapping?
um, Back when I was around 13, I would say my uncle, he is a musician himself. I don't have a lot of musicians in my family, but he's one person that influenced me to start just getting involved with instruments. I did the piano and he would play the bass guitar. So my dad taught me the piano growing up, and I just fell in love with like instruments and things like that. Then, you know, the jazzy instruments he would put together, I started writing right around that time, around 13. And you know, around 15, I started recording myself. So it came together. It was trash, don't get me wrong, but it was the beginning. So, you know, it's the beginning of something good. It's like, okay, I got the power to turn myself on or off, the recording quality. And a lot of my stuff's still up online on DatPiff, you know, but it was trash, but the lyrics were there. And I could see that if I had understood a little bit better about how to mix and master it at that point, I would have been, you know, some good stuff. But
Okay. So at that age, were you like getting into any competitions or shows, talent shows, anything like that, and showing off your skills?
nah, I wasn't doing that. I was I was on the block just recording other people and recording myself. I would literally sit there and just record all day and all day and all night. I lost like two or three computers with all music in it. It sucks. I used to like make beats and stuff back then too. So, you know, I wasn't the best, so I had to let that go. That wasn't for me. It wasn't for me, but I mean, nonetheless, I think instruments, like I said, it was rock with me. But um, overall, though, I think music, it just came to me naturally as far as me trying to like write rhymes and things like that and rock with people on the block. So
Okay. So you can kind of say that they was like your first set of fans when you started, spitting rhymes and everything like that. So, um, what was like your first performance? I could say.
Yeah, I was over there with one of my friends, Shavaye. He's actually the person that taught me how to engineer. He brought me on stage. He recorded one of my songs for me. It's called "Bottom of the Map" or something like that. And I ended up just rapping that. I was on the stage. I think if you ever heard of Chapalaka, back then she used to have a group she was a part of, and I performed on with them, not with them, but like on the same stage with them, and it was kind of cool. But I think I was really shy. My confidence, I had to do a little bit of grooming for my confidence wise. But other than that, I would perform like all over, like Baltimore, like in karaoke's and different just bars. I would just pick up a mic, and like when they had the words on the karaoke, I would just disregard those words and straight freestyle and just rock the whole crowd, like everybody be drunk, and I just be like, I'm like, put on Lauryn Hill, one of those Fuji tracks, and I just like straight just rock the mic in the crowd. I was never like the type of person that like I need a big audience to go out and on stage in order to get people. I rap right where I'm at. And I go outside on the block and just start rapping, and people would start gathering, little crowds and stuff like that. So wherever I roam, that's where my performance was at.
Oh, okay. So you developed your craft from essentially getting over your initial stage fright and then going out and doing, little small karaoke bars or whatever. And then next thing um, you got Clever Thoughts name being rung throughout the streets and things like that. Like how was that? What went through your mind when people start talking about you and asking for you?
Well, I mean, ultimately, I'm not like I'm not gonna say that people would ask for me, but I would say online would probably be the biggest presence that I have. Like a lot of people, they rock with me all around the world. So like even in my like when I was growing up in like Baltimore area, I would work with people that's out there too. So they would come by. Like no matter where I went, I always had like a studio or a little setup where people would come record. So it's more for me. That's what people would know me at is recording. So they would come like, Clever, come drop a verse, or I want to come rap with you and stuff like that. So I would have like in my studio more freestyle sessions and things like that versus like going outside and trying to gather people to rock with me. But online, people started really getting respect. Like I started doing like SoundCloud, and I got really a pretty, a lot of people that started kicking it with me and listening to me.
Okay. So I know people who, decided to be like a musical artist, and they tell me about their struggles when it comes to, trying to get their name out there and stuff like that. What was some of the hardships you faced so far?
Well, ultimately, first women, haven't had the chance to really get out there. In the Nicki Minaj era, she was pretty much the one that's reigning over top. There's a difference between independent, mainstream, and underground. So being an underground artist, it is most of the time once you're there is pretty much you're like either stuck there, you know what I mean, if you don't have a big budget or somebody willing to invest in you. So for me, when I listen to myself, I can see myself crossing over, but it's like I don't really want to get in the mainstream. I want to be able to be independent and control exactly what I'm doing, if that makes sense to you.
Most definitely. I I'm not a mainstream person myself. You know what I'm saying? Like my show started from, an idea that I had years ago about, you know, interviewing people and having real conversations. Like I don't want to be that person that's, giving you no scripted content or nothing like that. That's not me. I'm authentic to the degree that I can only be me and nobody else, and everyone needs to realize that. Like stop emulating what you see, because you're supposed to believe none of what you see and half of what you hear. A lot of people don't pick up on that.
Yeah. So I mean, like also going into more depth, like some of the struggles just being a woman in the industry. The next thing is just not trying to over sexualize myself, because once you in that sexualized box, it's like that's it for you because they're gonna always expect that kind of route. So it's like, how do I, and then you got like your Rhapsodies that come out, your Queen Latifah, Brat, people that MC, like people that are highly respected in the music industry that didn't have to exactly do all of that in order to get known. So, I try to basically keep that route where though I don't want people to be looking at me, but listen to what I'm actually saying, which is the message behind the music. So my struggle ultimately is just it was more within self, within letting myself not being able to, transition to what other people want to see, but more just keeping or like you said, authentic within yourself and who you are. And the right people and the right audience will eventually come to you, and that's what's been happening for me. Like the right people have been coming and aligning with me on the same frequencies. And more struggles that like independent artists go through is just that you gotta, in order to get to certain places, you just gotta pay for everything. You know what I mean? It's nothing wrong with that, but being an independent artist, that a lot of the time that come out your own personal budget. You know what I mean? If you ain't making a whole lot of money, then it's harder to cross over and to reach um the certain audience that you might want to get to or can't get to if you had even a little bit, more of a budget. So I would say that would be some of the struggles that I've came through, and just learning the industry part of it, not just the or the business part of it, should I say? Learning because there's different parts of music. You can sit there and you can rap all you want, but if you don't know how to market and make and actually get your stuff out there to people, then it doesn't matter. It's just a sitting duck. You feel me?
Yeah, I
That's
always tell people to do your research. Don't just jump out there and think you're going to emulate the next person. Like, don't get me wrong. A lot of people have, started from the bottom and, has done crazy numbers when it comes to views, merchandise, money, marketing, whatever the case may be. But a lot of them, I ain't gonna say a lot of them. Let's say there's a bunch of people with those, like you said, big companies backing them up, that's pushing that. When you got
mm,
somebody like yourself who's getting it out the mud,
right.
you got to grind for every little thing, every
Mm,
follower, every piece of content that you create. So, you know, go in there with I don't want to say a battle plan, but some type of blueprint on how you're going to market yourself and realize what's for you and what's not. And not everyone does that.
yeah, I definitely in my work, my regular work outside of music, I had did sales. So I did sales for like 10 years. So different types of sales in different places. So you're used to hearing like the word no. And because of that, it kind of numbed me, to not to hearing the word no. So I grind even harder than most musicians will, because you're like, no, no, no. But eventually somebody gonna say yes. So those are the things that I would do. I would come up with my own scripts. I used to do telemarketing too. So I basically use exactly the techniques that telemarketers and people in marketing and sales would do. And I flipped it into like how musicians do, verse minus calling them. But I would like send messages, collect emails, things like that. You know what I mean? That would get, and then I would, send my album to or my mixtapes to people email directly, and try to keep, conversations going with them. Different techniques and tactics that I just use over the years, just to personalize myself with my audience, so they can know who I am, whether people see a like or not. It's like behind the scenes, the communication is different. You know what I mean? Like for all my people that I meet, I introduce myself right away. I'm Clever Thoughts and such, and I send them a message with my link and things like that. And I tell them I'll support them in exchange, because a lot of times you have to create value for people in exchange for something. So if you want a like, you got to go back and you got to like their stuff. You got to be able to give that same exchange. And oftentimes, if you like me, I work by myself a majority of the time, and I do outsource, for help occasionally. But for the most part, I do it one on one, because I want to know who is out there, and I want to know these real people that's touching base with me. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. So you self-taught basically on everything that you're doing, and not everyone has the resilience for that, and that's what's going to separate you from everybody else, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it takes some. It takes a little bit of understanding of how, because I mean, anything that we're doing when it comes down to exchanging something, whether it be a product and merch or be an album, a physical hard copy, it could be a beanie on top of our head, it could be a flower, it could be anything. You have to be able to give something in exchange. You want that, you want money for the product. So it's just finding that right thing that people and the right people that are interested in it. So, I've learned a little bit, couple of techniques, and that's why I chose the route that I chose. I didn't choose to just be like releasing music only, but I chose to work with people in order to build the quality of their music better, or to deliver dope verses or features with them. And that's where I've been kind of like capitalizing and helping to grow Clever Thoughts over the past year, because in exchange for dope features and or me helping the artist to elevate their song, I've been able to help push myself more. You know what I mean? You got to invest in yourself ultimately.
You absolutely right. So 2020 was crazy. How
Mhm.
did how did it affect you, good and bad?
I mean, to be honest, I would say that it didn't affect me as much because I already work for myself. So, I'm working from home already. So the I'm gonna be honest, my business didn't stop. It kept going. And I think more people were sitting down and had the opportunity to do things like music. Like if they were working full time, most people wouldn't have the chance because they might be a producer or a songwriter, and they got a song they wrote, and they need someone like me to put it out there. Some people might not have had that chance to do it if they at work. So I think 2020 has sat a lot of people down, and it gave artists like me a chance, because I'm not a performing artist. People that are in a performing art, performing, they have got hit bad because they that's where the bread and butter of their bulk of their income is at. But for me personally, being home, I'm a mom too, so I got a 3-year old, and I would say that didn't hit me bad, but it gave me realization I can't trust everybody right now while this is going on. I gotta keep my family close,
Hmm.
and keep a safe distance between certain people so I don't affect my family. And I think that would be the most, and maybe not being able to be around family as much as I would have liked. Like, because that thing, like in New York in the beginning of the year, was off, and my whole entire family is from New York, so not being able to really go out there, that kind of affected it a bit too. um I mean, for real, other than that, just not being able to be around people that you really care about is probably the only thing that really hit me hard in 2020.
Okay. So what's some of the things you missed that aren't available now?
Um, I wanted some. I'm not gonna lie. I just like going out to the bars and having a drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having a drink, listening to some music. Optionally, if I wanted to go perform, it's like it's not even a option really, unless we could do it virtually now. But that would be one of the most things I miss. It's going just the freedom to go out without no mask on your face. You know, I ain't saying that's the worst, but it's not the best neither.
Yeah, any type of restriction from normalcy will always, make you feel like you've been burdened or chained down, and a lot of, I don't want to say freedom people, but a lot of people who's used to a certain lifestyle and having the ability to do whatever they want don't understand that, hey, this is the cost that it takes to, be healthy and stay alive. So, stop complaining and get with the program. Otherwise, you know, this shit is going to continue. And people don't understand that. They're so arrogant and pig-headed when it comes to, you know, their ego. It's messing it up for everybody else. Like, I want to go to the movies. Like, I
Yeah,
like the feeling of being in a theater, seeing something new for the first time. I like going to either the first show or the last show, so it's not that many people, and I can enjoy the shit.
yeah,
But
I agree. I that's me and my daughter little thing we used to do together is go to the movies, just like randomly we would go. And I feel like for her, she's 3. When we were 3, we wasn't going through this. So, it's very different because now she's so conscious before she go outside. I need my mask. I need my hand sanitizer. And it's like it's a good thing that she is conscious of doing it, but it just kind of make me think what kind of phobias or trauma will all of the stuff leave behind for our kids and the next generation and how they have to live now moving forward if it, anything ever change or go back.
Okay. So since you work from home anyway, was it any type of thing that you added to, better like the quality of like your work, or when it comes to music or anything, or like your visuals, via online or anything like that?
I mean, just not really too much. I just keep it real simple, to be honest. I mean, I keep my little background. Make sure I support a lot of black businesses. I'd hang up some shirts, from black businesses that I work with. So, in my background, like I got Landover Tea over here with the scarf, and I got one of my homegirls. She got Unique and Lovely LLC. She does. You gonna see this color. She got a lot of dope clothes. So I just try to make sure my surroundings. I just at least put up a couple of black owned businesses and just do my part in that area. But other than that,
Well, I'm gonna have to get you to send me those links because I would love to support them, and also I would love to have them on the show because I'm all about promoting people who have their own venture, product, skill, or whatever the case may be. I want to hear their story, and I want to hear you know what type of advice they can give other people who didn't take advantage of the quarantine period to you know do something like you said that you've been putting off for years or months or whatever the case may be. Like, I know people who have wasted so much money and time on trying to impress somebody else instead of, you know, building your own self up, because I took that opportunity and I put something that I've been dreaming about for years into fruition. And now I got clever thoughts on my show. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I want to give somebody the opportunities to also do that, you know?
Absolutely. I think that's what people have to realize is going to get us through these next few years is the networking aspect of things and building what I would call a collective consciousness to reach common goals. And that ultimately that's what I've been doing over the past like year is working with people around the world because I'm building a network. So it's like when people feature with me, it's just not we're doing a rap feature together. It's a promotional aspect. It's a working together. It's creating. If I share your stuff, they're sharing my stuff, and we're all working together. They see somebody that's working with me that's a producer and they're a songwriter and they need a beat. I'm connecting the producer, and the producer is getting paid, and or they need another type of artist or a singer, and I'm connecting them with the singer. So it's about building a network of like minds. That's at least that's my idea where the future should be at.
Yeah, not everyone sees it that way. I had a friend of mine's on the show last week, and she's a beautician, and she's been in the game for, I want to say it was 17 years now, probably a little longer than that. And she was telling me about uh her problem in her history with other stylists and everything, and how they have that crab in the barrel mentality. And I think that kind of falls into a lot of professions, especially in this area. I had a couple comedians on their show, and they would tell me that you know when it comes to artists from the DMV, they got to leave the DMV to break, because not everyone knows how to, push the person who could blow next. It's all about me, 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 and it should never be like that. It's like, if you have skill A through C and this person has the rest of it, hey, get to where they at, but push them so they can open the door for you to move on. Not everyone sees it that way.
So this, and I'm gonna be honest, and this is just the real thought in competitiveness, and let's put it like this: in a competitive nature versus whatever. When you have a fish and there's one female fish and there's two male fish, the male fish they both either one can go and share and knock the one, or the other one could knock it up. They're gonna probably fight to the death to get to that female, and only one is gonna probably make it. That's just the mentality. It's built into our natural instincts. However, I think that as a cultural aspect, like you said, it is going to need people. Somebody would need to understand and sit down, but at the expense of who? Because that means you're putting everything on the weight and the shoulders of somebody that potentially can say within when they almost pop, I don't want to do this no more. You know what I mean? What would you do after you say it, after you done pop somebody through, and then they leave and they leave you behind? You know what I mean? I would say that we gotta not we gotta not push each other down, but then again we have to learn how to level each other up. If I'm having an event where I'm performing at and they need dope performers, hey, we can all do a whole entire show. Let's go tour. Let's get a DMV tour started. You know what I mean? With all our best artists. Everybody it doesn't always necessarily have to be one at the top. It could be multiple people. You know what I mean? But it's just that if everybody put $5 grand up, we can go tour. You know what I mean? A tour of 5 cities or five whatever in the country is about building like a plan so people can get to where they need to be. But we're too dependent upon the system that's already in infrastructure, and it's not meant for us to get anywhere. So instead of depending on those systems, you have to build your own, and it's the truth. Got to build your own and introduce yourself to the world, and then the world will pick who should be at the top.
Uh, to quote the movie Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come.
So that's the thing. When you see record labels, all record labels do is they find a bunch of dope talent that people rock with, and they push them, and they put them on tour. If DMV feel like these are the top artists in the DMV, then this should be whoever is the most person that has the capital or investment in knowledgeable with their music. They should take those 10 artists or 5 artists, whoever, how many, and put them out and just say, hey, y'all go and perform and get this money back once the world open back up. That is, you know what I mean. But it takes somebody to not. It doesn't necessarily mean that one person got to pop through and get to the mainstream. Because what does the mainstream really have to offer other than the bank loan? You know what I mean? Because that's what labels do. That is a loan ultimately, at least in my understanding of the situation. So
Well, if it's me and I'm an artist and I'm going for that, um, I want to, ramp up and get to that tour part of it, you know what I'm saying, and spread my word. I'm going to also try to figure out a way to pivot from in case like another pandemic happens. You know what I'm saying? So, how can I sell myself virtually or social media wise in a way that won't be affected by a physical building being shut down or physical restrictions from making things possible? You know what I'm saying? So, do I have a studio space to perform live shows? Can I find a place where I can do a social distance show? You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Am I doing the research to make this happen? That's a lot of
Right.
things that people don't understand. So, back to your analogy about the fish. If I'm in that situation and I'm just saying me, I know that I'm not stuck in a small bowl. I'm gonna go find me another fish.
That's the way to do it. But in the aspect, a lot of times if we look at our bowl is the DMV, and you were saying that a lot of people have the crab in the barrel mentality because I just feel like when we're on the same, say if I am a rapper, you're a rapper,
Mm-hmm.
two rappers, we're in competition. We're not the same. We're not going to be able to align and push one another if we have the same common goal. You feel what I'm saying? But if I'm a rapper and you're a promoter, then that's where we can align and push one another as a rapper and a promoter. Or if I'm a rapper and I need a stylist to keep me looking fly. So it's like if you have, everybody has to have more than one skill or trade in order to help each other elevate. You feel what I'm saying? Because everybody has to eat, and that's what people can't. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You got to have multiple things that you're doing at one time. This is why I chose to like do songwriting and feature and engineering and mixing and mastering. I got my degree in IT. You know what I mean? I'm networking with different people, so you have to be able to get a lot of skill sets together: marketing, sales, promotions, uh, and just be able to use those. So when the rapper part of you is in a competition with another rapper, you like, hey, yeah, I can rap, but hey, I can also hook you up with this dope producer, and then you find a finder's fee. You got to charge your services just like anybody else. So I know this is a long reach, but it's what the world is really capable of. There's a lot of places where you can make money in the middle spaces as the middleman or woman. You know what I mean? So it's like to open yourself up, no different than you as a person that's doing a podcast. A lot of people, they charge to be the middleman, like radio and different places. They charge artists to be able to get on their platform and or spin their music. It's no different. But a lot of artists, they want to be victimized. You can't be victimized. You got to pick up additional skill sets and additional value that other people can see. And when you're not being that rapper and you're in the instance where like another rapper and a rapper, instead of being that crab in the barrel, you realize, damn, I got a lot of these skills that I can help elevate this artist by, I can do her hair, I can get $50, and that $50 I can now use to help push myself, and while you're helping this other artist at the same time. So it don't got to be a crab, it just got to be, people got to learn how to work together.
Yeah, you can't be a one trick pony. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And
And
that's what we find, a lot of people got to get away from that. That's where it is at right there. I hate to say it, but that's what it is.
well, yes and no, because I'll say this. So if I'm real strong at songwriting and I can't perform, okay, I know that. Now I can open up a school and I can teach people songwriting because this is my skill. So now I'm putting my skill to the best because I know I'm not strong at that. You know what I'm saying? So I'll make a pivot because not everyone can. Let's say you a real dope uh rapper, but you got stage fright to the point that you see five people sitting at a table, you pass out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to figure out a way to pivot. So all right, I got to be on my her shit. I got to perform behind a shade or you know what I'm saying, something like that.
I got
You
you.
know, so
Yeah.
you gotta stick to your strong suits, but not only that, you got to get out of your own head and get out of your own way because your ego is blocking you from building something strong because you want some me shit when it could be we getting this together. You know what I'm saying? And not only now your we that or your me that you've been trying to get there is now in a position where you can make that happen. And not only that, you can bring somebody with you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can work with somebody for the first time. They'll give you ideas, a light bulb will click in your head, and now you're doing things a whole different way and a lot easier and a lot better. So now you're in a position where you're not stressed over trying to get somewhere. You're there. Not only are you there, but you feel better and it doesn't feel like it's stressing you or nothing like that. So now I'm happy. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So get out your own way, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. A lot of the artists, they do happen to be within their own heads, and I think that if they just have guidance, because I think that mentorship is another good thing that will help other artists to grow. It's just having mentors or people who have been there in whatever section that they're weak at, so they can find people that are strong there, and then just find out how they did it and learn from it. Because everything takes practice, and that's what also separates people who are professional from people who just have a dream. They continuously be at their craft over and over until they have it down packed 100%. You know what I mean? And but the problem, that's what I was saying with building with different skills, is just like you said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I might be good at that, but if the world shuts down, I have to be good at multiple things, because if I need to ever make money just to survive, I got to be able to know how to do several different things if that is cut off at me for the time. And that is where my mind has been for a long time, of just building around what a musician or a music artist is, and trying to understand at least a little bit of each of the skill sets. So therefore it helped me save monetarily, when it's time to do something. I don't have to spend as much money as the average artist because I know how to do it. You know what I mean? Other than having to outsource or depend on somebody else.
Yeah. I All I can say is I agree. I can't even rebuttal on anything you just said. I mean, at this point, it's like the writing's on the wall when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So, um, let me ask you this. So, when did you start battling?
Just this last couple of months, I
Okay.
signed up to this radio, Trent City Radio, and the guy that owns it there, he asked me to. I guess he found some of my music. He was like, "Yo, just," he was like, "Why don't you come?" I sent some music into his station, and he was like, "Why don't you come? Rap." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna just give it a shot." So I ended up winning their season two um battle rap thingy, and it was cool. And I tried to get through three, but I did. It was a dope lyricist dude. He actually ended up taking me out. But I think there was a good learning experience overall because I definitely built some confidence in the area. So it didn't take nothing away. It was a good learning experience.
Okay. So you see yourself doing some more battles in the future?
It's not my thing. It's not my thing 100%. But if I had to do it, I wouldn't shy away from it. I would do it, but it's not something I don't want to get caught into that and labeled specifically for that. But I wanted to say I touched on it, if that makes sense. I
Okay.
just wanted to touch on it.
Yeah, you scratched that itch, and it was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and whatever happens, happens. And now that you did it, you know what I'm saying. You got more from it than what they got from you, basically.
Yeah, I did it. So it's like you don't want to. I think that some people get stuck in that realm and make a profession of it. And you really, in order, battle rap is a whole different skill set. It's not like lyricism per se. Battle rapping is totally different in their word structure, their word schemes, how they deliver, and it's very complicated. And how they do it is really interesting to me. I think battle rappers are truly underrated, but they're very entertaining to watch. So I think I would have a lot to learn if I ever wanted to continue in that field to and doing it. But I enjoyed it though while I did do
That's what's up. So, what do you have planned for 2021 that people should look out for?
it. Well, I because I just put it like this, I'm working with a lot of people that are in great places right now, and
Hmm.
I would say I could say three albums. Three albums I have in fruition. One with the band in the UK. We putting together an album for scratch. One with Push Audio, and I have my own personal album, which is pretty much almost done. I had one for 2020, but I held off on that because I did so many features. So I just wanted to kind of keep that consistent. And now 2021, I got my own music that'll be dropping and some music videos too.
Okay.
So yeah, some
So,
music videos and just continuing to market and promote, like we're doing today, like different podcast shows, and just continuing mentorships. I did my first mentorship with the Dance Institute of Washington for one of the young up and coming femcs. She's 10. She goes by Fly Zaya. So I actually mentored her, and if that was something I see myself doing in the future, definitely being a mentor to the next generation and just passing down the skill set and helping where I can with songwriting or just guidance on how to how delivery is, things like that. You know,
true MC, you know. So, when you do drop your album, please let me know so I can promote it, and I'm gonna check
for
it out.
sure. I appreciate that.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, I'm all about promoting people who out here doing their thing, and obviously, I'm gonna have to hit you up on some technical advice because you said a couple things that sparked my interest. So we're gonna need to rap about that too.
For sure, for sure. I've been doing this a little while, but when you find little tricks and techniques that could work, um, and definitely just finding your target audience and trying to put together, keep a clean package, for artists, for us artists, that is what is helping to get other people to see you. But I'm not gonna lie. My next thing that I want to do and I want to work on between the next couple of years is just building an app specifically geared for musicians to get paid and teaching them step by step. But because the industry is changing so rapidly and stuff like that, we have to start thinking a little bit ahead because AI is taking over, artificial intelligence and things like that. So speaking on that, I do have people I'm working with in that realm, like virtual reality and stuff like that. So I have uh, that's 2021 for Clever Thoughts too. I didn't want to say too much, but yes, that's where I'm also headed in that direction too.
Okay, I see you over there slowly but surely trying to get that I don't want to say fortune ready, but step your game up monetarily anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Working is a work in progress.
Okay. Hey, I always tell people get in on the ground floor because you never know. That's why I'm also big on, doing my research on the next thing that's going to blow. Like back in February, um, I actually invested in Zoom. I didn't invest much because I heard that, what I'm saying, the numbers are growing. But if I did back then as much as I am now, I would be in a much better position than I am. I probably wouldn't be working a 9 to 5, but hey, I gotta pay the bills and I'm gonna make it happen. I got this clothing line I just started, and my goal is to get Landover Legend
What's the name of it?
Studios. Simple and plain.
Simple and Plan. Okay,
Yeah,
keep me in touch with that so I can make sure to support as well.
I got you. I'm working on the photo shoot for the merch drop and the commercial for the next couple months. So once I got everything lined up and pristine, I'm gonna put it out there.
For sure, for sure. Let me know if you need any help over here. I got you.
That's a bet. That's a bet. So let me ask you this question: in the battle of lyricism, who you got? Andre 3000 or Jadakiss?
In a battle of lyricism.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't heard Andre 3000 rap recently, but I've heard Jada Kiss rap. He's still sharp with it. So I've heard him recently. More recent than Andre. I don't know. That's a tough one right there, man. Something tells me to still go with Jada because he has a certain structure and a rhyme scheme that is familiar, and he knows how to hit those specific punchlines. Andre 3000, he has rhyme schemes and a rhyme pattern that's very intricate, that is complex, should I say. He has complex rhyme, multi-syllabic rhyme scheme. So in that case, I could go Andre, but I think Jada is, if I do, I would listen to Jada Kiss more and memorize his words more.
Okay. Me personally, I'm gonna go with Three Strikes because um, he's an animal and he got me hooked at shoot. I want to say 8 years old, back when
Yeah,
AT Aliens dropped.
he a beast. He's a beast. I'm not gonna lie. Very different and very unique. That's why I said he's like multi-syllabic and complex rhyme schemes. And when you listen to him, you definitely got to be on your top. You gotta be listening in. But I chose Jada only because the fact that I can remember his stuff. So it's like when I'm listening to him, but he got dope punchlines. If you don't catch it, it'll go over your head. So I just be like, okay, he got
So
that, like, yeah, that matter of fact kind of confidence.
no New York bias.
Now I like both artists, but you made me choose. Yeah, I like both. I was Spotty Yachty, Dopalicious. Come on now, we gotta. You can't be doing that kind of stuff, man.
all I did was ask a question.
Yeah, I rock with both though. They both are phenomenal artists.
Okay. So let's say you putting an album together, and who would you rather have as a feature? Big Pun or Pimp C?
That's a good one. I'm gonna be honest. I would go with Pimp C.
Okay.
The reason why I would go with Pimp C is because I listened to UGK growing up. That's all I listened to. Now, Big Pun, I listened to Big Pun, but I'm not gonna lie, UGK, I was bumping them my entire youth. So I would have to go with Pimp C because he got the that swag. when you do music too, it's not only about lyricism, but it's also about having that tonality and that confidence and the catchy hooks that people want to hear and they gotta, you know, and
Mhm.
that people are gonna remember forever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, Pimp C definitely had that. When he got out of jail, that shit was just like, it was like boom. Yeah, back on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was still making music in jail, but the blow up of international players and that last UGK album was just like, damn, take me back to '98 real quick. You know,
mhm.
that's how I felt. I can't speak for everybody
I
else.
still could listen to UGK to this day. I might just play them right after I finish something. Another big person for me was growing up with Scarface or and like Project Pat 36 Mafia. I grew up listening to like Gangsta Boo. Like a lot of people favorite like artists and stuff be like, they be like, yeah, Little Kim and Foxy Brown. I'm like, yeah, I like them too. But the person I probably listened to more than that was probably Gangsta Boo, even though she only made a couple of albums. I was still rocking the same one. Like, but it's because of the beats and the way that the catchiness. And I was like, when I'm listening to it, it's just so freaking catchy. You know what I mean? It make you it draw you in. But the other artists as well is just in a different way. I think I just connected for some reason. I don't know.
I think a lot of people don't know because 3 6 Mafia was so dope. Like, you could say what you want about them as far as you looking at them for the first time and assuming something, but their albums, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my goodness, like Mr. Don't Play,
Mm-hmm.
uh
All of them jumps.
what was the jump?
They
I
be like,
can't
in
think
the
of the
summer.
hit
It,
the
it was when the
HBP
smoke clears.
album, um When the Smoke Clears, Murder She Spoke, Getty
Mm-hmm.
Green, all the DJ
Both
Paul's.
Worlds 69. That's
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was my shit
Mr.
back in the
Don't
day.
Play. Mm-hmm.
And you know what I want? I wouldn't mind like a versus battle with I don't want to say, well, actually the versus battle I'm waiting on is Cash Money versus No Limit, the early edition.
They ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna ever happen. Only reason I know that wouldn't happen is because Master P, his mind state, he was like, he already said it. He was like, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go against who was like the best hustler. He was like, let's go product against product. Let's go. I want to go against Jordan. He like that kind of mindset. He like, I want to go shoot against, and I don't knock P for that. His mind was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time, and I think even now people are not understanding the business mind state behind him. But I can see that he's still on top of his hustle. He's still on top. I done ate his chips all the time. Every time I go into a store in Palmer Park, I go pick up a bag of the little Romeo chips. I still go get them anyway.
Yeah, they were better than I thought. I assumed otherwise, but I mean, once I seen them in Walmart, I was like, it's a wrap.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta respect the hustle what the hustle will do. I don't see some of these artists, they don't have that same drive. They have it somewhat, but I don't see it like in front of me in our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Some of their stuff is out of reach. So
So
unless it's in a liquor store, that is, unless it's in a liquor store. So
so what do you think about Don Tripp?
you said who?
Don
Uh,
Tripp,
and where's he from?
Memphis.
I don't think I listened to him enough to see. I'm you gonna have to put me on him then so I can get onto him and stuff.
I got you. I think he's one of a underground person who's not getting the justice he deserves. Almost uh, like Big Crit was before he kind of took off a few years ago.
Yeah,
Because
that's who hat I have up here. The Big Crit hat.
oh yeah,
Right? That's his hat right there. I went to his concert with him and Rhapsody, so I
okay,
bought his merch as well. So yeah, I rock with
yeah.
Big Crit. Yeah,
I saw him at the Howard Theater about 4 or 5 years ago,
I think
and
right before
uh,
Corona, like a couple years ago, like a year and a half ago, right before everything started hitting.
okay, yeah, man. But that dude, he make beats, he raps, he produce, he's
Mhm.
singing. You know what I'm saying? He's a Mississippi version of Kanye West, some might say, but he's a reincarnated Pimp C for others. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
that man flow is mean too, and a lot of people they don't know like all his. I'll say the first 5 albums I heard of his, mixtapes included, all dope, all fire, and
Yeah,
you can just let
let
him.
me hear that. I gotta hear that. Yeah. Put me
Yeah,
on that. Put me on this music.
yeah, most definitely. So, all right, I got one more question for you, then I'm gonna let you go. All right. So, who would you rather open up for, Erica Badu or Beyonce?
That's a good one. I would not want to open up for Beyonce. I'm sorry. I don't get me wrong. I love Beyonce, but I couldn't do it because she's a tough actor. Like nobody's gonna want to. Like they were like, get the fuck out of here. Like the Beehive is too strong. You know what I mean? I think that Badu is with her crowd will probably be more receptive to new people. You know what I mean? As far as like, especially if I came out with her song "Clever," she's clever, and then like having like a little remix back there, and then Badu like back there saying that, man, that'd be such a vibe, wouldn't it? I'd be like, I definitely would be vibing with that. So I mean, I would do Badu because she's dope and much respected. But Beyonce, I think she's phenomenal as well. She's yeah.
Yeah, her following is kind of, I don't want to say kind of, it's definitely cult like, and they just sit there and go 23 hours a day with Beyonce on their mind, and the other hour they probably sleeping or something. But
Damn.
that's it's crazy, but it's real at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I'm ready. I think I need to be like, I feel like Badu would like light up a blunt and just be like chilling and cool. I need like relax. I need to be in a calm mindset because I feel like if I go out with Beyonce, I feel like I have to synchronize dance or something like that. And that's just not where it would be for me. You know what I mean? I'll feel too much pressure.
I mean, you never
But
know.
neither here nor there. I open up for anybody that want to have me. Let's get it.
Hey, you know what? When I start introducing these pop-up shows, I'll definitely have you come through.
For sure, for sure.
Man, so man, this has been dope. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me and have this conversation. Um I like the information you was putting out there, and I hope that it's recepted by everyone who listened to it, because honestly, not everyone thinks 2 steps ahead or 5 steps ahead like they should. They only worrying about the next day, and that's not what you need to succeed in life, in my opinion. My thing is, I set a goal for myself every week, and a list every month that I gotta accomplish. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm planning for December and it's January. You know,
Mm,
and that's the way I like. It's certain things I have to accomplish when it comes to my show, when it comes to any type of business venture that I'm doing from now on, because my goal is to become independent and work for myself. I'm tired of making someone else rich. I want to set my own hours. I want to be able to take a month off if I decided to. I mean, of course, I'm gonna have somebody running the shop, but me personally, I won't have to come in. You feel me?
yeah, I'm gonna tell you that all I can say is just keep going. People are gonna catch on as long as you keep going. And I think that is like a lot of times I could have gave up with my music, but I just stayed consistent. And because my consistency and I kept going, I'm able to do what I'm doing now from home and just strictly only do this. And I don't know how long it'll go and then how long it'll be, but I'm thankful for the opportunities that I get. And anytime I ever have an opportunity to help others, I make sure I continue to do that because people remember you, if anything, for that. You know what I mean? When you feed other people, that's on a boss type level, and that's where I want to go. And not boss to be above, but to be synchronized. Where we're building each other collectively in the direction that each of us want to go. Because I feel like that is the ultimate goal. Like I said, for 20 to moving forward in 2021 and on, we got to build networks so we can work with each other to build each other.
You're
And
absolutely
that's
right.
what I gotta say, and that's clever thoughts, baby.
Most definitely, most definitely. So why don't you let the people know where they can find you at?
Sure, you can reach me at CLEVA underscore thoughts THOUGHTS. On all platforms, that be Twitter, IG. You can find Clever Thoughts on Facebook, on Spotify, Apple Music, all streaming platforms. And even if you Google me, you'll be able to find a lot of content. And you can reach me directly. Send me a DM if you want to work or you got some questions. And we can, let's talk.
Most definitely. Everyone, please make sure you hit her up if you have any question when it comes to music or biz. Apparently, she's going to be the one that give you that little notch. She's going to give you that punch up that you need to elevate your sound and elevate your music and get you to the next level. And at the same time, she's going to help you with marketing. And apparently, you got a little IT going on, so you might be able to fix their technical side too.
Now,
So
I'm not doing that just yet. I got you when I'm ready for that. But right now I'm focused on this music 100%. But when I do, I actually graduated with web development. So it's more like building apps, web pages, and things like that. That's more like what the specialty would be.
well, there you go.
Hmm.
Clever thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a dope interview. I am your host, the Land of a Legend, aka Big T, and this has been another installment of the I Can't Make This Up podcast. I can't, with a K, make this up podcast. You can find me everywhere podcasts are available. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. I Can't Make This Up podcast. So don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe. I read all comments. I appreciate honesty. And if you just being an asshole, I will definitely invite you to the block party. Don't forget to follow Clever Thoughts on all streaming platforms because obviously she's going to be the next one up when it comes to making things happen, in my opinion. So until next time, take care.